Welcome to Monster Jam Live. I'm Ryan Lacoste. For those joining us on Facebook right now, we are in San Antonio, Texas at the Alamo Dome. And for everyone here at the Alamo Dome, feel free to follow along at facebook.com/monsterjam. Give us a thumbs up and let us know who you think is going to win big tonight as we kick off the Monster Jam FS1 East Championship Series. We're going to preview the action set for tonight and let you hear directly from our Monster Jam superstars competing for that invite to the Monster Jam World Finals 18 in Las Vegas, March 23rd through the 25th. For everyone joining us around the world, welcome to San Antonio, Texas. Now, to get things going and get the action started, let's go to the pits with our very own Leslie Mears.
Well, since this is the first event of the season here on the FS1 Championship Series for us here, Bobby Baggett, you and the Gravedigger team with Morgan Kane debuting a brand new piece out here this weekend, but you were telling me that you didn't get a very good opportunity to really shake it down before bringing it out into action.
Yeah, we did a little bit of testing at the shop, trying to get the shots set up and everything, but this first show is really our true shakedown to see how it's going to work out for us.
Well, I know you told me it was about 10 minutes of field work out there, which is nothing compared to what you're going to see in track conditions. What are the things that you are most concerned about tonight that could fail on the truck just because you haven't really got a good chance to test it out?
Well, I'm pretty confident we aren't going to have too many issues, but I think we've been fighting a few steering issues. Hopefully we haven't worked out. So.
Yeah, and steering's so critical. What are some of the things that you're going to be talking to Morgan about on the headset out there, as he's driving around and you're checking for those issues?
Mostly just how it feels, how the truck feels to him while he's out there running.
So there you go. A few shakedowns here tonight. Will be interesting to see if Morgan Kane can keep the streak alive there in Gravedigger tonight.
I am standing here with the driver of the Max D, Tom Mentz, 11-time world champion. Do you hear the cheers already? Can we get a cheer right now for Tom Mentz? Yeah, you like the sound of that, don't you?
I love it, man. These fans are awesome. I haven't been here in 5 years. I don't know what's taking me so long, but I know for a fact I'm going to make it a memorable trip for them tonight.
Well, welcome back to San Antonio. It's definitely good to have you back. It's been a couple of years since you've been here. The road to Monster Jam World Finals starts today. Today. Now, as an 11-time world champion, how would it feel to have all of these San Antonio fans with you again in a couple months in Las Vegas?
It'd be awesome, Monster Jam's all about building momentum, and the momentum needs to start tonight. And we're going to carry that momentum all the way to the World Finals. Man, with these awesome fans here, we're going to start with the momentum here, and they're going to follow me all the way to Las Vegas for the World Finals. Nothing would make me more excited than to win my 12th championship in freestyle. It'd give me the perfect 12-pack.
Can we get a huge round of applause and cheer for Tom Mentz, 11-time world champion, driver of Max D. Now let's get to know a little bit more about El Toro Loco driver Chuck Werner.
Well, back here with Chuck Werner, the last time that you were in action was in Santiago, Chile. How was Monster Jam received by the fans down there?
Well, we were kind of worried a little bit. It was our first time ever in Santiago, Chile. But you know what? They took it just like any other normal Monster Jam fan does. They loved it. They had a real good time. And I think we'll definitely be back there tomorrow or next year.
Well, and it's just so amazing, tonight bringing the Crazy Bull to San Antonio. Your first time here, what was your experience in the pit party and how do you feel about the event so far?
Well, whenever I first got here, I walked in the night we got here and I looked inside the building. I'm like, holy cow, this place is huge. The Bull and I are going to have fun in here. We had a great time at the pit party, met a whole bunch of El Toro Loco fans. I'm ready to go out there tonight and put on a great show.
Just amazing. One more time, let's hear it for Chuck Werner and El Toro Loco.
I'm I'm here with Lindsay Wink, Lucas Oil Crusader driver. Lindsay, last time you were in the truck in Minneapolis, a huge win for the first racing win ever in that brand new building. Does that give you momentum going competition?
Oh yeah, that was a big win for us, for our team, for Lucas Oil. You know, we had kind of a dry spell in 2016. We ended it on the right note. That's a great momentum rolling this place. The caliber at that show, dude, that was world finals. So to get that win out of that place, win that first one there, huge boost to me. I get to carry that over into 2017.
And there's an automatic bid to the Monster Jam World Finals, 18 on the line. Does that give you incentive to go harder with this being the first stop on the FS1 East Championship Series?
Yeah, for sure. You want to go out there and earn your keep. You don't want nothing handed to you. If you go in there, win the series championship, you get a big, beautiful trophy. You get your invite to Vegas, and dude, you're set.
Lindsay Wink will be out here looking for the first racing and freestyle win tonight. Now, let's get to know more about Steve Sims, driver of Stone Crusher.
It's always interesting to hear how Monster Jam trucks get their name. So, Steve, how did you guys come up with the name Stone Crusher?
Well, back in Virginia Beach at home, my Monday through Thursday job, I own a stone company. We do marble and granite, driveways, all kind of stone and stuff. So we said, hey, we'll make a truck, name it Stone Crusher. That happened about 12 years ago, and it's still rolling on.
Well, just amazing. But, you know, with so many business commitments at home, how are you able to balance things between, you know, being on the road with Monster Jam and then being at home and be able to run your business?
Well, it is tough. It does have its up and downs. I've got a good manager there, Tricia. She's running things. And my son, Steven, he's not on tour with me this year. He's home taking care of the business and letting Dad go out this year and play.
Well, it's pretty cool. You've got those great people behind you. So awesome. Let's hear it one more time for Steve Sims and Stone Crusher. Now it's time to learn more about Scooby Doo's Brianna Mahan.
I am here with the driver of everyone's favorite mystery-solving crime dog, Scooby Doo. This is Brianna Mahan. Now, Brianna, how did your involvement in the Arena Series help in the development of your skills to become a Monster Jam truck driver?
You know, the Arena Series, you really have to learn how to work your truck and how to do it in very small spaces. You know, it teaches you a lot of technique, how to hit a lot of the obstacles out here, the logs, the tires. It really makes you think about the things before you hit them. And I feel like coming out here, it's going to be a huge advantage. Now we get to stretch Scooby's legs a little bit and watch him run.
That makes a lot of sense. Now, you have been in this profession for a very long time. What part of your racing background would you say has best helped you to become the winning Monster Jam driver that you are today?
You know, surprisingly, a lot of your skills kind of transfer over. I came from professional motocross. That's what I did my entire life. After motocross, I went to dirt track racing and sprint cars. So, of course, those skills are going to transfer over here, especially in racing. And I just think just having a motorsports advantage really just makes you get in that truck and just want to run as hard as you can.
Very excited to see you race tonight. Very happy to have you here at the Alamo Dome. This is Brianna Mahan, driver of Scooby Doo. And up next, let's go to Bryan Wright, driver of Hooked.
For the second time in a row, making his return to the FS Championship Series, it's Bryan Wright, driver of Hooked. Bryan, you had some crazy moments last year, some big racing wins. How do you prepare for a Monster Jam event?
Oh man, you come out, you know, you get kind of comfortable after you come and do it a couple years. But you come out here now, I'm a little more comfortable in the truck. I come out here and I see all these great Monster Jam fans, and it's on after that. I love to see these smiles on these kids' faces. And being here in San Antonio, this was in 2009 was my first year out here. I crewed for Gravedigger. And I come out here, and this crowd right here is off the chain. And I'm ready to come out here and put a show on for tonight.
And now for our freestyle competition, 2 straight minutes. There's no bonus time. How do you plan out a freestyle, or you just go with it?
Oh, man. You make a couple hits, and then you just start lining up. There's so many angles to hit this track at. Every time you turn around, there's something in front of you. You just start hitting it and going big. If you hear that crowd getting loud out there, you just go a little bit bigger.
And how special would this be for you to go on to win the series and get that automatic invite to the Monster Jam World Finals 18?
Oh, I would love to go to the Monster Jam World Finals. That is one of the most awesome shows we have. And, to come out here with all these great trucks, and be competitive and come out on top, that would be one of my most memorable moments in Monster Jam history.
Well, let's hear it for Bryan Wright and Hooks competing for that Vegas invite. Welcome to our first stop on the Monster Jam FS1 East Championship Series. I'm joined by Leslie Mears. Leslie, the lineup is insane. The point system has changed a little bit, and it's just crazy to think. We have the 11-time World Finals champion, Tom Mentz, Max D. We have the 2-time World Finals champion, Jim Kohler, Avenger. The reigning racing champion, Morgan Kane, in Gravedigger, plus new faces like Ryan Disharoon and Saigon Shaker. Now, the lineup is incredible. We don't have a whole lot to talk about yet, but I think the big story right now is how tacky this dirt is and who's going to be able to maneuver around it smoothly.
I've been talking to the drivers today, and they've said, yes, it is tacky. However, our dirt crew here has worked in a little bit of sand in the corners, and they said the more the sand got worked into the corners throughout practice just one night ago, that it made it a lot better in the corners, and it wasn't really gripping and sliding and putting them up on two wheels to bicycle just a little bit. It was helping them slide around there a little bit. So I think for the younger guys that don't have as much experience, like the Morgan Canes, whose only stadium appearance was Monster Jam World Finals last year, it's going to be a little bit tougher from him. But for the wily veterans in the field, they are going to be able to control their beast and get them rolling out here and really rule this track.
And consistency is key with our point series. What are our drivers saying they want to do tonight? Are we looking for the wins? Are we looking for second place and maybe third in freestyle to get a pretty comfortable start for the series? I mean, we aren't in Atlanta where we were supposed to start last week, so every point is crucial now.
Most of the guys are saying that it's all going to be about consistency. Of course, you've got guys like Jim Kohler that want to make a big splash, and he's definitely got that go big or go home mentality out there. But for different guys out there like Lindsay Wink, who is so consistent and just even pace throughout the course of the season, this point system is really going to play to their favor. And so I heard him earlier today say it's all about just staying consistent, playing your own game out there, staying within your own realm of abilities and not really trying to outdo anybody else to just gain those points to march on.
And I got to say, Lindsay Wink, Lucas Oil Crusader, if I were to pick somebody that was going to come win racing tonight, it would be him. Winning in Minneapolis, it was Chicago-style racing. That's where we're here as well, Chicago-style racing, and he's really great at it. And if we're picking freestyle winners, you got to think 11-time World Finals champion Tom Mentz, Max D.
I'm also going to go with Lindsay Wink tonight. Really, I think this track is very suited to him as well. He's a great driver. He's got a new crew chief, Jason, this year. They're really starting to click and jive, and they've got that Lucas Oil Crusader machine really lined out. For freestyle, though, I'm going to go with a little bit of a sentimental favorite tonight. I love seeing Jim Kohler out here in the Chevy S10 for the 20th anniversary of Avenger. I think he's going to go huge tonight, and we're going to see Mr. Excitement, the 2-time World Finals champ, take home the title.
Now, Michael, let's get your thoughts. I know you're out there in the stands. Who do you think is going to win big tonight?
Well, I am in the stands with the fans right now, and who do you think right now is going to take home racing tonight?
Tom Mentz and Max D.
Tom Mentz and Max D. Let me come over here for a second. I know that we have some other fans. So who do you think is going to win freestyle tonight?
Brianna and Scooby Doo.
So we have people cheering for Brianna and Scooby Doo. We have people cheering for Tom Mentz and Max D. But what about Morgan Kane right here, driver of Gravedigger? This is Morgan Kane, our current Monster Jam World Racing Champion. All right, Morgan, so the defense starts today to keep your World Racing Championship title. Talk to us. Take us back to that moment in Las Vegas when you won.
Well, it definitely comes in so the start of the season. You have a target on your back for sure, but I think everybody's been really following a good system. Consistency is key. You're coming into every single show. You want to do the best job you can to put a great show on, but at the same time, you got to keep her on all four wheels in racing. So that's really my plan for racing. But freestyle, all these fans paid great money to come out and see us tear it up. That's what you want to see, right?
They want to see that indeed. Now, the road to Monster Jam Finals for you was arena, a lot of arena. Talk to us, what do you think the biggest challenge is in the transition from arena racing to stadium racing?
Well, to be honest with you, I think it's a tough concept because you're confined in a small area with the arena, but you're always getting so many hits in. So it's how fast can you get from one obstacle to the next, you know? So with the stadium, you pretty much broaden the playing field and you're able to just do whatever you want. You have so much room to play, and the more room to play, the bigger we're gonna go. So I'm super excited. This is my first time in a stadium since October. I was over in Australia having a good time, but I wasn't in the black and green wrecking machine. So I'm ready to get back in my truck. My crew chief Bobby, he's back there, got all the nuts and bolts tight, and I'm ready to let Gravedigger 33 rip.
Oh, and we're ready to see you let it rip. This is Gravedigger driver Morgan Kane. Let's learn a little bit more about Scott Hartsock, driver of Slinger.
With Scott Hartsock, driver of Slinger. Scott, it's been a little while since you've been on TV. Does that change for your preparation going into the Monster Jam FS1 East Championship Series?
Absolutely, you know, we're gunning for these guys this year. It's good to be back on FS1 Tour, and I can't say thanks everybody for coming out here to the Alamo Dome and supporting us. Now, does having points on the line change your way of thinking when it goes into our competitions on this series? Yeah, absolutely. It's pretty cool with the points. They've done a little different deal with it. You know, last year there was a guy out there, Jim Kohler, running hard, rocking 0 points. Well, they said, you know what, we got to do something about this. You know, we got to make this fair and square. And they did. You know, they come up with a great point series. And you know what? We're glad to be a part of it. And we're going to be a threat to deal with in racing and freestyle. And I look forward to the Road to the World Finals. We're celebrating 25 years of Monster Jam history this year. What are some of the favorite moments that stand out in your mind as you've been on this ride with us? I'd have to say it's the very first World Finals when it was pay-per-view, and I was a big part of it, and I love it still today. We love it too, and it's Scott Hartsock, driver of Slinger. Now let's learn more about Kevin King and Fluffy.
I am here with Kevin King, driver of Fluffy. Can we make some noise, San Antonio? So, correct me if I'm wrong, Kevin, but Fluffy looks like it got a complete and total makeover, and we're about to debut that makeover on the Fluffy truck tonight. Now, how did the idea for the new look of the Fluffy truck even come about?
Well, you know, Gabriel Iglesias is a great buddy of mine. He's a huge Monster Jam fan. So last year when we did his Fluffy truck for the start, we had the F-250 body on it, and Gabe's like, "It's great, the crowd loves it, the fans love it." He's like, "But we gotta make it me, you know, a little more." And so the only option was a Volkswagen bus, and we're super excited to debut that truck here tonight. I mean, the fans in the pit party just loved it, and we're ready to rock the house.
We're ready to see you rock the house. Now, how has your association with Fluffy throughout the years impacted and helped your efforts and your career with Monster Jam?
Oh, it's awesome. I mean, I start my 11th year this year. The first 9 years of my career were all mine, all, you know, hard work. We made it to where we are, and then when we got Gabe signed on with us last year, we were really able to step up our game a little more. And this year, things, you know, after having such a good year last year, this FS1 tour is what we've been wanting for a long time, and we're here to win.
He's here to win. Give it up right now for Kevin King, driver of Fluffy. And right now, let's get to know a little bit more about Ryan Disharoon, driver of the Saigon Slinger.
We're so excited to have Ryan here, especially as a second-generation racer, you know, being out there with your family. How much did that family influence have over you to come out here and compete in Monster Jam?
The family influence was huge on me. My dad was a monster truck driver for a long time. I was his right-hand man, and now he's actually my right-hand man. He's out here with me tonight, making sure the truck makes it round and round. And, you know, you guys are going to have some excitement going on because, you know, I've only been doing this for 3 years, but I've been around it since I was 12 years old. So I eat, breathe, sleep monster trucks, and my whole family does. So we're glad to share that with you guys.
When it seems like you were doing some preparation, getting ready for these upcoming events on this championship tour, you went down to Charlotte. What did you learn from that experience in competition that you could transfer to your knowledge here tonight?
I would say we learned that we were more prepared than we actually thought we were. We went down there just thinking, hey, you know what? We'll feel the track out. We'll see what's going on, see if the truck's ready to go. And it sure was. You know, we did really well in Charlotte, and we're hoping to bring that same confidence level to this arena tonight.
Yeah, and they actually picked up an event win down there, so definitely more prepared. One more time, let's hear it for Saigon Shakers, Ryan Disharoon. Now it's time to learn more about Shane Freed in War Wizard.
Here with War Wizard driver Shane Freed. Shane, a couple of years ago, you left the seat to become a crew chief. What did that teach you about Monster Jam driving now that you're back in the seat?
Actually taught me quite a lot, because when I jumped out of the seat, I was kind of call it quits, and then I got a phone call from Gravedigger. I'm like, So I teamed up with Gravedigger as his crew chief, and ended up being crew chief for Mr. Gary Porter and Carolina Crusher. I'm like, oh my gosh, 2 headliners. And I learned so much from Randy Brown and Gary Porter, and I brought that what I've learned to here and made the changes in my truck, and it's been amazing ever since.
And it's your second year on the Monster Jam FS1 Championship Series. What do you love about being a Monster Jam driver?
Everybody asks us that question. The number one thing is the fans. They don't realize we miss our families at home. We're gone all the time. But then when we come to a show and they're like, hey, I seen you 8 years ago, and they give you a big old hug. And you're like, you know what, I really have a family on the road, and we look forward to that.
And you've touched some very special fans around the world. What else do you do outside of driving the Monster Jam truck that allows you to meet some very special Monster Jam fans?
My biggest thing is I supported JDRF. There's a 12-year-old little girl back home, Maggie Lou, who runs my fan page. I have nothing to do with it. And I've been helping her pay her bills and be a part of her life, and she's drove the truck. And a lot of the guys in this sport, it's not about coming out here and racing every weekend. It's about helping the kids that we can at home, because one day those kids are going to be in our seat driving our trucks. So they're our future. We've got to help them out.
Absolutely. Shane Freed, War Wizard, looking to get off to a rock star start tonight. Now, let's meet Brad Allen and Brutus.
Hanging out with the driver of Brutus, Brad Allen. Now, Brad, how excited and eager have you been to get this season started?
Oh, just last weekend I was all excited to even go to Atlanta, but to come here to San Antonio, I've never been here before. I haven't been in the truck in almost 2 months. Man, I'm just sitting here shaking. I can't wait to get in that seat.
Shaking with excitement, everything, right? All the good feelings.
Oh yeah, adrenaline, excitement, put on a huge good show for these fans here in San Antonio. It's just nerve-wracking right now.
Well, those nerves, I'm sure, are going to propel you to do great tonight. Now, what did you do on the long off season? What did you work on Brutus? What did you do during your time off to get the truck and yourself ready for tonight's competition and for this season?
Oh, everything. We go through the truck, 100% new motor. We check out everything, every nut and bolt. Just preparation just to see what we can do tonight.
Well, that's awesome. We're really excited to see you absolutely crush it tonight. Brad Allen, driver of Brutus. And up next, BJ Johnson, driver of S Monkey Garage.
Fuel, give me fire, give me that which I desire.
After debuting a new truck last year, BJ Johnson making some changes over the course of the winter. And, you know, BJ, we always talk about, you know, that communication between driver and crew chief. You know, why is that always so important?
You know, the driver and the crew chief need to work together as you drive. I can only see out the front and down through the floor. So actually my crew chief is my eyes. She watches what goes on in the track. If there's a hole in the jump or the cars are kind of crooked, they'll let me know what's going on so I don't crash the truck early and we can make it through our show.
You know, with that communication, it is very key. And, you know, they say once you find a good crew chief, you want to keep him forever, right?
Yeah, that's right. Lindsay Hilgendorf, she's been my crew chief for a couple of years now. You know, and I put my life in her hands, and she does a great job of taking care of the truck and make sure everything's good. So actually this year I asked her to marry me, and we're getting married in November.
So exciting for you, Lindsay, to be out there, you know, keeping him safe out on the track. And, you know, you must be doing a great job behind the scenes there if you can hook him in like that.
Yeah, I must be doing something right because I sure can't cook.
Well, she is one heck of a mechanic, and the Gas Monkey team has a great pair put together for this year.
He is Jim Kohler, driver of the Avenger. Jim, what keeps you motivated every time you get in and strap into the Avenger to come on out here and deliver and perform at your absolute best?
I thrive off the crowd's excitement. If the crowd's excited, if they're getting loud, they're getting wild, that's what pumps my energy, man. These kids, these fans, they all get wild. That's what makes me go nuts.
Are you excited to be in San Antonio here tonight?
I'm definitely excited. San Antonio, are you excited for Monster Jam?
Well, we are getting so much closer to the start of tonight's event, and as you can see, it is very, very intense in the pits back there. But now it's time to learn more about this amazing competition track that we've got set up for all of you fans out here tonight. And to do that for all of us here tonight, we're gonna let some of the superstars of Monster Jam let you know what makes this competition track so amazing.
Hi folks, I'm Lindsay Wink, driver of the Lucas Oil Crusader. I'm going to talk to you tonight about our first event of the night. That's qualifying. We do it right here. Now, as easy as it may look to drive a monster truck, there's a lot of pressure on us. This puts us in the show. There's probably going to be a second to a second and a half between first place and ninth place. And if you're in ninth place, that means you're not racing, and that sucks. Everyone wants to race and win that trophy. Morgan, tell us about racing.
So as you set the bracket for racing, you want to make sure that you're in the top 8. You want to go just fast enough to be that 8th person, to put yourself in the bracket, so that way you have a chance to walk away with the racing championship. How many of you fans like racing? That's right, that's right. One thing is you got to be consistent the whole time. You got to feather the throttle coming around the corner and make sure you hammer it home to cross the finish line. But I know you fans love freestyle, don't you? So, Brianna is going to tell you a little about wheelies to kind of give you guys a warm-up before freestyle. So give it up for Brianna.
Hey guys, who here loves a good sky wheelie? There is nothing cooler than coming up to these jumps, hitting these logs, and looking straight up at the ceiling. I'm so stoked to come out here today, bring out some awesome wheelies for you guys. Scooby's gonna be begging for those Scooby snacks. Who's ready?
So, okay, we've talked about racing, we've talked about wheelies, we've talked about all this stuff, but now, who wants to talk about freestyle? That's right. Every obstacle out here the Monster Jam Dirt Crew has done, and we have changed all these obstacles around so there is a hit everywhere on this track, from the cars to the ramps to the wheelie ramps we can also use. You have 2 minutes, no bonus time. 2 minutes to do whatever we want, as loud and crazy as we possibly can out here for you guys. If you guys want to see us get crazy in freestyle, you got to make some noise because we can hear you. Make some noise all night long because freestyle will be up. Who's ready for Monster Jam?
That completes this week's edition of Monster Jam Live on Facebook as we get ready for all of the action here at the Alamo Dome and the kickoff of the Monster Jam FS1 East Championship Series. Make sure to follow us on social media like Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and more to stay up to date and get all of the highlights week to week and all of the awesome Monster Jam action. For Leslie Mears and Michael Navarro, I'm Ryan Lacoste. Keep checking back for more Monster Jam live events at facebook.com/Monster Jam.